I am so excited to be here with you right now to start Gate 7. This is the first lesson, and this is all about the expression is not performance. Now, I am sitting in this beautiful space at my desk talking to you right now. The window is open. I can hear cars driving by, bird sounds, just beautiful birds singing in the trees, and water falling from the waterfall in the backyard pool. I am in my pajamas. My hair is up in a bun, and we are going to dive deep into this whole lesson. Before we start, I ask that you take a deep breath with me because this one is going to change everything for myself and for you because I am guided to share my complete expression of myself for this level. There is a point in my life that I truly believed that I was being authentic. I believed this in my bones. I thought I was expressing myself to everyone, my authentic self. I also thought I was showing up as who I am, me. But when I look back honestly through my trials, I realized that I wasn't expressing at all. I was performing. And this is huge for me to tell you this right now because I am going to be your mirror because you are in the seventh stage. When I looked back at how I was performing strength because I've been through so much. I am a strong woman and I got this. I can handle this. I don't give a care. I don't care what people think of me. And I am just a strong person. But that all happened when I was actually feeling broken because that was my way to survive it. I also would perform peace. I would perform the inner stillness at the times I was overwhelmed. And when I was performing wisdom, under the trees in Las Vegas with a whole bunch of people lining the streets of cars, and everybody came and sat under trees with me as I was performing wisdom, the high, light, and enlightened being, the love, the light. And when I was in all of that, I was still trying to figure out who I was. I was not being accepted by my family during that time. I did not know where to live at that time. I was going through a major separation of a toxic person at that time, and there I was under the trees on Sunday afternoons, inviting everybody and speaking wisdom to them. Did they know I was going through all that internally? No, because I was performing wisdom. I wasn't performing truth. And I didn't even know I was doing it until looking back at it all. Wow, that was who I was performing to be. It wasn't any of my true self at that moment I was performing. I have to admit, I looked good performing. It sounded good. People received it well. And that was the trap. You see, going into the truth of performing, you just look at TikTok and look at social media platforms and all the gurus out there and the teachers. Everybody's performing, but they never truly give the real them. That's private. Because who would they be? Because performance gets rewarded, but expression doesn't always get rewarded, does it? And so when I'm looking at all of this, I noticed something so profound is that every time I spoke, there was this subtle check happening inside of me. When I mean check, it was like I'm getting checked. Does that make sense? I'm checking my own self. Nobody needs to check me. Now, when I go into how is this going to land? Or am I, who is going to understand me? Or is this too much? Or is this not enough? And in that moment of questioning the whole dynamic and checking myself, I wasn't expressing truth. That was my overall acknowledgement and ownership. I was negotiating it the whole time in my own mind. Because how dare I, or who am I, to even be this authentic person expressing my truth always and owning how people make me feel or owning how I'm feeling in front of people and knowing that I'm still going to be received and loved in that expression. And it's very important that you hear this, hear my words. The moment you adjust your truth, my darling, to control how it is received by others, you are no longer expressing and you are now back to square one, gate one, having to go through the whole system of the patterns, the identities, where it came from, how do I speak my truth, what are my truths, and how do I do it in environments that may be of the unknown. You have to start from gate one because you're not even in the gate seven, the teacher, the expressing truth and leading by example. You're just in the negotiation of it because you're always in the mind, the intellect, and it has nothing to do with that. And when you go into that performing, you lose the entire opportunity to be a huge impact in somebody's life because you're just performing. It's fake. It's not the real you. When we look at performance being shaped by outcomes, and when we own that expression is not, there are times that we will be rejected. And there are times in our life that we will be casted out, or it'll create a confrontation, if not a fist fight, because that's what we grew up learning in high school or in, just the neighborhood playgrounds, right? You always want to be liked to create a better environment and opportunity, even though it's not how you feel. And there were times in my life when these situations of bully or abuse or attacks or anything that I would take on in my life, there were times that I softened my words just because someone else wasn't clear and I didn't want to say, you don't make any sense, or can you please elaborate, or can you please clarify? I will soften my own perception and receiving of the environment of what is being given to me. I would soften that without even asking for clarity, all because I didn't want somebody to feel uncomfortable with me. I didn't want to be the cause and effect of discomfort. I wanted to keep the environment peaceful and joyful and loving, even though that something was way off, way out of alignment, and I needed clarity because I now created a war within my mind and I'm trying to nurture the environment so I don't really speak my truth. Does that make sense? Which is a reaction, not a response. So I would just soften my words and keep everything calm so the war wouldn't continue. And I've done it even a month ago. You see, we're not always understood. We're not always loved, received. And looking back at it all, I hated being misunderstood. With all of my beingness, I hated being misunderstood. So I've learned to over explain. I've learned to be so clear in my words. I would practice it in my head before I spoke because I didn't want to be the cause of a discomfort or being a misunderstanding, causing a ripple effect because somebody else didn't receive me as being clear. It's like a mere reflection. It's crazy. And every time that I did that, I couldn't feel at all. I couldn't feel my truth. I couldn't feel what was going on and collect it because I was already so turned in, tapped into being of that perfect expression or that perfect performance. I was never feeling what I was receiving in the actual exchange of lesson. And these lessons that come in, they're not for just the mind, but they're for the body as well because we have to collect it. And this is when you're in an exchange or an environment where something would feel tight in the belly, or your heart would just start pounding, or you'll feel the heartbeat in your throat. And then you just feel this huge heat and you turn red. Your whole body reacts to what is coming at you. And it creates that contract. It creates that agreement. It creates that we're going to continue in this environment because I'm too scared to express myself with all my lessons learned. And it's like I just made myself be a little bit of something, not my grandiose soul self color, but my little bit of self. So I can keep the environment at least at a neutral, or at least keep it safe so I don't have to create any confrontation or misunderstandings or hate or dislike or rejections and all of these things I had to go through in my life. You see, I'm expressing to you truth. I am being the example in which I speak right now of what it looks like to express, not perform. And this is where we step into the field where no one really likes to talk about. You see, performance disconnects you from yourself, my darlings, and it puts you in the stages of the human experience without coming to completion. Completing whole heart, receiving both sides of the field, not just your own intellectually. That was a hard pill to swallow when I was in the sixth stage. Hard pill to swallow. And as we keep performing and pretending to be what we are not, and being all about our image and how our hair looks and our wrinkles and our the way we speak, our tone of the voice, our colors of clothing, and how we present to the world, perform to the world, we slowly, subtly become this identity even though it doesn't belong to us. Until one day you don't even realize how much of you that isn't actually moving, expressing, existing, being, received, all of these feelings. And that's why we always feel alone. We don't feel received or loved, and we don't feel that we exist. Expression is a different feeling. It doesn't check the room. It doesn't check the people. It doesn't wait to be misunderstood or not liked or received. And it moves because truth moves. That's the only thing that really does move and flow. And sometimes we receive it and then harness it in our body, and we hold on to this truth because we don't want to be this truth because somebody may not accept us, or we may be misunderstood for who we are because we are in the expression of this truth. I do want to be clear about something. This doesn't mean that it needs to be loud, aggressive, careless. It it's like it's calm, it's clarity, it's clean, it's center point, it's balanced. It's like the waltz. It's beautiful. It's the dance and the symphony of life. And when you finally are in this expression, if I explain to you how I feel right now, my body is chilling. I feel so much love for who I am because I know that I am speaking truth. And it swells my heart. I have tears coming from my face because I've learned to love me that much to express everything I see, to express everything that I am feeling, and to be a benefit always in someone's life when I know they're performing in front of me. Because I cannot receive performance, I receive expression. And I ask in most of my conversations when I see performance, I will not say you're performing in front of me. I will go into the dissection of it with them because that is who I am. I am a teacher, an instructor, an integrated educare, because I care of the soul and the evolution and the expansion of the soul, which is the human mastery. They're here to master the human experience, just as I am. And so if they're in my field, I must always be in the expression of who I am. I cannot lower it or dim its light to create comfort anymore because I've learned it from all the gates and the stages I've collected. And this is what you will be doing, especially in your experiments. That's right. I will always put you in experiment because that's where you collect in the body, not the mind. So when we go into all of these truths and how we express how we truly feel, and when it's so clean and clear, we no longer engage, have agreements, have exchanges in human experience that has a hidden agenda or that needs to be validated or needs to be liked or to be agreed with. I'm actually at peace now if somebody disagrees with me. I don't need to be right, and I doesn't matter if I'm wrong, because everything is teaching me. So I come into that clean, soft expression of acceptance because I have to always see both sides of the whole, which you learned that in gate 6. So I started doing something very simple and very, very uncomfortable, and I stopped adjusting to meet the needs of others. And I'm so proud of myself that I didn't do it in a reckless way. And I was honest and I was true to myself. I spoke the words when something didn't align. And oh my gosh, the day I did it was so revolutionary for me, so relieving, so radical, and felt good. And I smiled and I high fived myself and I talked to myself and said, "You're awesome, Jenny. I'm so proud of you." All I had to say is, I know I do not align with that, but thank you for sharing. And just those simple freaking words that have my whole life have been so hard to say. And then being at peace with that, still allowing them to be what they are. Does that make sense? Now, mind you, I'm not saying that you're not going to have people that want to grow beside you and they love dialogue like this. And I know that if you're here and you're in the New Earth economy, you're a powerhouse master of life and you like dialogue, you like receiving those keys because you know you're a step closer to that grandiose, greater creation of the symphony of life playing your color in all of the tunes, harmonizing with the whole, the all, the infinite, not raging against it, not being out of tune with it. And I look forward to the day that you are going to say, thank you for sharing. I'm sorry, but I don't align with it. But thank you for sharing. Because we, as masters of life, we love when people speak to us and share their belief system because it allows them to see who they are in the out loud, in the openness outside of the body. It cannot be unseen or unheard. And that's why we are who we are and what we are going to be and do as we change our inner world. Therefore, our outer world experience shifts. And so, as we come to the end, I want to ask you something. And I need you to be honest when you answer it. Are you ready? What are you still performing? Go ahead and go into that. How does that feel? Where are you adjusting your truth to control how it is received? Go into that depth. Go into that truth. What are you softening, holding back, or shaping yourself for others just to stay comfortable in the room you're in? That's right. Because the moment you see everything, you start to feel it once and for all. You get to feel it so real and so raw, so human, so true. You won't be able to ignore it anymore. And that's where I need you to be. I ask you to be there. Moving forward, you are not here to perform your life. You are here to express it through you. And that expression, the real, true, real, raw, human master expression, does not, my darling, ask for permission. It will never moving forward, especially if you are around me. We may have a dialogue, but you never have to ask for permission to express your wholeness, your heart with me. I love that. I welcome it. That's all I want. Because if you're performing, you don't want me in your field. So I welcome this expression. And this is where I ask you to be moving forward from here on out at this exact moment. Look at the date. Look at the time right now that you're receiving this key. I am asking you to freely express your heart in this whole entire online eco world and moving forward. So take a deep breath. Let all this land. And this is where gate 7 truly begins. Not with the learning how to express, my darling, but with removing everything that has been performing over you that keeps you from expressing. This is that beginning stage. And now you are seeing why I am doing this. And now you are feeling why I am creating this safe space and this opportunity to share with you all of my keys without all the noise of the world. And all that is left, it's you. And that is my why. And that is how we are going to start gate 7. Because I'm in the full expression of my whole heart with you in all of it.